Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. You know who looked great? Who usually don't look great on the opening week? Kyle Shanahan's teams usually look a little rocky, to start the season, and then they come on late, get sharp, but they looked sharp, Mitchell. Everybody had question marks with DeMeco Ryan leaving. After Robert Saleh left, they're like, how is this defense going to be? That's like asking Mitchell, is a Ferrari still going to be fast if somebody else is driving it? Mitchell, I can drive, you can drive, my daughter Avery can drive it. It's still going to be a Ferrari, baby. And that defense is a Ferrari, and they got Javon Hargrave, who had him a sack today. But let's talk about the all-pros, Mitchell, the all-pros on each level. We'll start with Nicholas John Bosa, came off the streets pretty much. 2 days of practice and had a pretty good impact, got doubled, didn't get any sacks, but he allowed for Drake Jackson in his second year to have a coming out party, 3 sacks. Javon Hargrave got a sack. Then you had Fred Warner, who was all over the field, all over the place like Project Roaches. Mitchell, him and Drake Greenlaw are by far the best linebacker tandem in the National Football League, and Drake Greenlaw could have got player of the game. He was everywhere, but Fred Warner tipping passes, dropping an interception. Oh, I know he wanted that one back, Mitchell. He had his hands on the interception, a little bit behind him, covered it so well, dropped it, and they tried to fit it in. Kenny Pickett. Yes, he can. Can he get picked? Yes, he can. Mitchell, he can. He did. Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, they both got him. Mooney Ward got him on a clean one, smooth. Talanoa got him on a tip because he decided to try all-pro Fred, which is unacceptable. Yes, you're going to get punished. And then he got sexy with it, Mitchell. He got a little pitch. And the refs got to let that go sometimes. Like, he wasn't pitching it forward. They know what he was trying to do. Like, you're running full speed. It's hard to pitch it behind you. But, man, that was fun to watch. It was fun to watch that D-line. It was fun to watch the linebackers fly around. Then you get to the offense, and everybody got questions about Brock Purdy. Mitchell, how did he look to you?
He looked good, Rich. He looked very, very good. That's the thing with this team. I mean, we were texting all the way through the game. They looked like they were in mid-season form right out the gates. And to your point, they got that ace of spades always in their back pocket. Doesn't matter what that offense is doing. They got all pros at every depth of that defense. But when Brock Purdy plays like this, Rich, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Super Bowl looks very, 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 very achievable, even with Brock Purdy at the helm.
And it's no even with, Mitchell. Even with, like, he's playing good football. If he was a top 5 pick, Mitchell, playing like he is right now, people would be talking about he's on his way to being one of the all-time, one of the elites in the football league. But since he's a 7th rounder who doesn't look the part, whose arm isn't as lively as everybody else's, he's a system quarterback. People are not going to give him credit because he has Christian McCaffrey in the backfield who could break for a 65-yard run. The receivers down the field blocking Brandon Aiyuk, Ray McDonald out there. Ray McLeod, my bad. Said it wrong. Ray McLeod out there. That's how much they care. And then you got Brandon Aiyuk by himself. Patrick Peterson said before the game, he expected to get his hands on a football. And he's a veteran. One of my good friends, been playing for a long time, got a lot of them books. And he expected to get one this game. And they gave him a really simple pattern, but they condensed it. They made it look a little different. That's what Kyle does a great job of. Window dressing, make similar things look different. Move a guy here, move a guy here, and then have them run out and expand instead of just standing out there and running the route. So they ran basically double post. And the over route by Deebo Samuel, for some reason, the safety got pulled out of there. He's a middle field safety. You should let that pass to the other corner, and it's fine, and then fall back, and you might have an interception. But instead, he didn't. Aiyuk froze Pat P a little bit, turned around, and he was sitting there all day ready to catch that one. Nobody even touched him when he landed. Then he had the fade ball, Mitchell, into tight coverage. Easy one. And those are the footballs. Those are the reasons why Kyle Shanahan really likes Brock Purdy, because he's giving his receivers a chance, even though, and sometimes in those situations, it doesn't look like it's a good throw. It's a good decision. You're like, that's a jump ball 50-50. He's saying, hey, this BA, my guy's better than yours. I'm going to give you a chance. And that's what's going to win him over his guys. But, man, that was a good performance all the way around.
Going into this game, I mean, the Vegas line, I mean, it was hovering around 3 points. You know, there was a lot of action on Pittsburgh. To me, I'm like, you sure about that? You know, this is the same team, San Francisco. This is now 11 straight regular season wins. This team's not backing down anytime soon, Rich. Again, they look like they are in mid-season form. Purdy shut up some haters today. There's no doubt.
He definitely did. And then you heard all the hype around Kenny Pickett from the preseason. And you're like, Kenny Pickett had an outstanding preseason, almost perfect. And then he got against the number one defense in the land. Prove yourself against them boys. And it's very difficult to do. Even when TJ Watt is having a freaking amazing day. TJ Watt had a great day, 3 sacks. He's going to be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year because Bosa didn't start off with no sacks. So he's going to have a good shot at it. But Deontay Johnson only had 3 catches for 48 yards. I mean, George Pickens was non-existent after everything you've heard, all the positive things we've heard about him coming out of training camp. He was a go-to guy. He's going to be one of the best in the league. And it's just crazy, Mitchell. It's just crazy. But you know what's even crazier, Mitchell? Oh,
I already know where you're going with this, Rich.
Oh, Mitchell.
Let's go to your own backyard, man. I mean,
I don't want to go back.
Seattle. They're welcoming the Rams for opening day. You already know the 12s are fired up. They're expecting a big win. There's a lot of hype. Heck, we gave them a lot of hype. The Rams are supposed to be this new era. I'm sorry, the Seattle Seahawks are supposed to be this new era, not the Rams. The Rams are the dumpster fire of the NFC West. Not today, my friend. Not today. What the heck happened, Rich?
Mitchell, I don't know. That's the hardest part. I could not put a finger on it. The formula is there. All the ingredients are there to make a beautiful meal, Mitchell, a beautiful entree, hot steak dinner with all the fixings, Mitchell. You got sugar and spice and everything nice. And it was a disaster, Mitchell. The Rams didn't go in there expecting to play as well as they did. They didn't expect to put up 30 points. Sean McVay can lie and say he did. But if we went in there, even based off of Stafford's comments in training camp, he can't connect with the young guys and trying to find a way to get connected. And we're just so young and we don't know what we're going to do. And they were missing their best receiver, Cooper Kupp. Mitchell, they were missing him. They were missing Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was not playing, Mitchell. And so you used Tutu Atwell, who had 6 receptions for 119, a great game. Puka Nacua from BYU, 10 catches for 119. Mitchell, Seattle was missing a few guys. They were missing their number 5 pick, Devin Witherspoon. They're missing Jamal Adams. But at the end of the day, this Rams team is a bottom 5 roster in the National Football League. It is hard for anybody to debate that or argue it. Outside of Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, I guess Tutu Atwell now, they may have a couple more guys that can play, but they're not expected to win a lot of games. So for them to go into Seattle in week 1 and beat them by 17 points and hold their offense with Geno Smith coming off a Pro Bowl season, all the things they do well, 3 really good receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba supposed to come in here and make an immediate impact. You still got DK, Tyler Lockett. They start to drop like flies, Mitchell. JSN goes down. Lockett goes out with concussion symptoms. And then it's just DK out there. And they held them, Mitchell. They held them to 12 yards in the second half. Total. 12 yards. Like, with your boy K9 in the backfield and everything. 12 yards. It's hard to explain. It's hard for me to come up with answers for the fans and say, hey, this is what they need to do better. This is what they need to do better. I mean, they got to play defense. They made it too easy, but I told you, Matt Stafford, without any expectations, without any burden, without any pressure, is a dangerous player, Mitchell. He's a dangerous player. He does not care. He'll sidearm it. He'll throw it over the top. He'll bomb you. He'll throw it underneath. He does not care. He's a risk taker. He's the epitome of a gunslinger. And that's what they saw. He threw for 334 on 24 for 38 for 334, no touchdowns, but they rushed it well. They ran it well. When they got into the red zone, Seattle got to look themselves in the mirror and answer some hard questions because defensively, that's where they gotta be better. Offensively, clearly they got to be better, and I think they will. But defensively, that was unacceptable.
Oh, well, let's back up a day. Pretend today's Saturday, Rich. I tell you, hey, The Rams are going to beat Seattle Seahawks 30-13 on the Seattle Seahawks home turf. What would your reaction be to me?
Mitchell, I would call the volume and send somebody to your house to drug test you immediately, Mitchell. I need to know what you're on because I don't need any of it because that is ridiculous. That's what I would have said, Mitchell. And what happened was what happened. You know, DK Metcalf was having a really good game in the first half. He looked smooth, had a really cool touchdown. It looked like Seattle was just, hey, they're warming up. They're coming into their own and they're going to get going. And the wheels just fell off the bus. I mean, the bus just fell off the bus. I mean, the wheels, the axles, the chassis. Good night.
Well, Richard, I hate to say this, and Seattle Seahawks fans, I'm speaking directly to you right now. I hate to say this to you guys, but it gets no easier. It gets no easier next week. You're coming to me, Rich. You guys are coming to me. You're flying out to Detroit. You're playing in an Eastern time zone. Rich, you know your body clock doesn't adjust in one day. You're coming to Ford Field for the Lions home opener, fresh off a Kansas City Chief away game victory. You know Ford Field is going to be hype, Rich. Is 0-2 in the future for this Seattle Seahawks team right now?
I can't see it, Mitchell. I'm not going to give them that, Mitchell. It's a trap game now, Mitchell. It's a trap game for Detroit. You know, they never thought they'd come into week 2 in the trap game, but I think they'll make up for what they did. You know, they'll correct some things. The offensive line will play better. The defensive line will play better. Secondary has to clean up some things. You know, I'm sure Clint Hurt is going to look at the tape and kind of find what didn't work, what did work, and clean it up as best they can. But there aren't any easy answers for that. There aren't any easy answers. You're not going to play a worse roster team. You know, Stafford's a good quarterback. So you can say quarterback play can be, you can find worse quarterbacks in the league than Matt Stafford and how he played. But Jared Goff isn't one of them.
Well, before we leave that game, all you fantasy football players out there, I can guarantee Puka Nacua is going to be a hot name on that waiver wire going into Monday and Tuesday.